All right, good morning traders and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and sorry guys, was just a little late coming in. Very busy week for us, and have a release of something new later this week. So we'll busy week for us, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Exciting stuff. Anyway, this is the live trading webinar. It's based on our educational course that's on YouTube. It's free. And then go through the live analysis here with us. So we put the education to the test in the live market Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Then we have live trading with Jay Trader, a stocks trader, on Wednesday, and Scott Pulcini, a futures trader, on Thursday. Now, on our Discord channel, you may want to check that out as well. We have all sorts of stuff in here. With the Algo Boys, options with Doug, the Traders Lab with Tom B, and then we have crypto with Rain in the morning as well. We have every hour, I mean, is filled here. So we have a really nice bunch of streaming content and excellent traders. You might want to check that out. I'll give you the link here. It's very simple. You can find it here right from our homepage on bookmap.com. The Discord room is right here. I'll just copy this link. But you can also find it here under more and then go to chat room here, Discord. Okay. All right. I'll put this into the chat for you guys as well. There you go. Okay, all right. Let's see here. Already a few questions right off the bat. Can you drill down to the bid ask and talk about how we might use the same? It's time and sales. Oh yeah, sure, no problem. We'll get to that, Joe. All right. Anyway, let's go through the disclosures and jump in. All right, so general disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay, so let's take a look here. We can look at whatever you guys want. Typically, it's the S&P E-mini. That's what most people want to look at, and so we do. It's good. It gives a broad overview of the stocks, but we can look at the Nasdaq. We can look at the 6E, crude oil, Tesla, Amazon, Apple, Bitcoin, and then a unique product here that we have with the filtering heat map also for crude called Trader Map Pro. Anyway, guys, some nice momentum starting to come in. Look at the volume picking up right now. Looking for these buyers here to try to trade right back up to right around here, about 72, 38, 72. Now my VWAP is there, but it's not that I'm looking at. I'm looking at this right here. This swing, and look where this actually here is where the sellers came in and moved this lower. Okay, so this is some pretty good buying. So let's see if we can break this swing here. Okay, right here. Let's actually add a line there. That's the first area to test. Now it just came shy of it here, just by a tick. But some very strong buy volume. So we're looking for continuation here. All right, back up to the swing and just above it here, up into our 70 level. So it's about a 3-point move, more or less. And actually, this is a great area for a retest here and see if we can get the buyers to come in now. All right, and they're not, right? They're not yet, at least. So let's take a look at this here and zoom in a bit. Okay, so they're actually down here at 64 1/4. That's where the liquidity is right now. Okay, so it's a little bit of a fake out move here. This is interesting though, guys. You see this again and again in the order flow. Look where the buyers truly came in. You can see it here, right? And that's where they're here again to buy. They're supporting it here at this 64 1/4. Okay, so now we're starting to see the move back up. Okay, and I'm looking for the continuation here. right? Up into our 70 and then maybe 72 up here. Okay, so there's a simple move, kind of read right off the bat here, and we can get into the details in here. Maybe Joe with time and sales, etc. Well, time and sales is already kind of floated by, but anyway, this is why we had the read here and why I covered it so quickly, was just because of the heavy buy volume coming in like this. Okay, so we had a pretty deep pullback here. The first pullback I would look for was like we just covered right here around 66. It went down to about 65, and I was looking to see if it might test 64, but it did not. Okay, and then we see the move up. All right, so target 1 at 70 has already been hit, and looking for target 2 at 72 up here. All right, so stop at break even on something like that. Now we're just covering in general how you may manage something like that. This is not a trade recommendation room, as we discussed in our disclosures at the beginning. Okay, this is about reading order flow at a very high level and then applying that to your trading. All right, so let's see, Dragon List family, your first time too. Okay, welcome guys. Christopher. So this is how it works. I mean, basically our education here's target 2, guys. So that's already been hit, and I would be out. I mean, this is strong buy volume, but it's a counter trend move. That was my target, and I would be out. Now, again, it's not a trade recommendation. It is just reading the order flow and then looking for an expected move or a higher probability move, and then look for the next one. Okay, my objective was achieved, and now I'm looking for the next opportunity. All right, it's a very small time frame opportunity, but in these webinars, we're going to go through as many as we can on different time frames, so that you can apply this to the various time frames. It's all the same stuff. It really is. This move in here, well, we can look at some candlesticks, etc., but looking at the volume here, and also the liquidity here supporting it at the 64.25 was pretty good. Okay, now they're supporting it here at 67.75. Okay, and a little bit lower too. So anyway, let me show you where this educational course is on our YouTube channel, so that you guys can watch that first, and then we'll go through all the details here in the webinar. So go to our YouTube channel, and would be great if you guys want to subscribe to it. Hit the subscribe button here, because you'll get updates and alerts, etc. You can see our upcoming webinars here for the rest of the day. We have Tom B immediately following this webinar at 11:30 East Coast time, and then 1:30 East Coast time we have options with Doug. These are excellent, guys. Tom B, as you guys know, very popular and well followed. He is a volume profile trader using Bookmap and Orderflow. Doug he's kind of new to the streaming with us, but he's been trading options for quite a while, and he has a really great strategy that offers tremendous insight. So if you guys want some unique education, you'll find it here. All right, that's why I'm suggesting to subscribe and get updates in here. Some great traders, and then after this we have the Algo Boys. Now they're not streaming on YouTube, but you can come to our Discord on that. All right, and they start at 2:30 and go to the close. And again, very unique education. It's something you're not going to find somewhere else. And all right, so that's the education here. Our educational course is down lower here under bonus materials. Here it is. Click on the link here, parts 1 through 4. Please just watch parts 1 and maybe 2. Okay, I'll show you why. right here. This is the kind of stuff. Why does price move? And to understand what's going on at the the most binary level of a transaction between the offer and the bid. Bookmap shows that extremely well here. Okay, you see the best bid and offer, you see the transactions here, and then we have the liquidity here, which is in the heat map. Okay, just 3 elements on this chart, and that's it. See how the aggressors come in and move price up, and look at that, pulled the liquidity up here at 74 or 73. So there's still more buyers. Let's see if they can come up to 73.5, just based off this simple little read right here. Right now they're coming in on the offer up here, right? So that's kind of scaring people away, right? So we just came up to here quickly, but that was it, because they started to show more liquidity in here, right? Where earlier they were pulling that liquidity, right? So this was a clear path for buyers to take it higher. But once they started to see sellers on the offer come in like this, it kind of scared the buyers away. Okay, so it is this context between liquidity and the aggressors, the market buy and sell orders, which are the dots. Green dot, market buy; red dot, market sell. This is what moves the market. This is a different kind of education than most traders are accustomed to. Okay, this is understanding precisely how the markets work. Okay, candlesticks don't go over that. If you look at maybe your candlestick charts here, in fact I've got one here, right? Your candlestick chart, it's open, high, low, and close of a period. This is a 15-minute period here, and you're trying to read the candles. You have no clue how this market works. Where are they bidding? Where are they offering? Where's the aggressor? How much did they trade? That is all about the behavior of the traders, not just this kind of disassociated price action here. Okay, we want to understand what's going on with the traders and their behavior, because that's what makes the market move. Okay, it's traders or it's trading. Okay, so it's not some candlestick pattern. Okay, it's just like we were reading in here about the aggressor. Look at the sellers come in now. All right, so can we get another retest down here? Can we get more sellers? If we get more sellers down here, then we'll likely break it and come back down to 72. Now look what just ended up happening here. Okay, just a beautiful breakout here. Okay, that's a 4 or 5 point move. Right now, what happened was we did not get sellers down here. We got buyers back up here. And look at the mount on that buying here. They just started to mount that buying pressure. These guys stayed in the book here, and they filled. This is what happens when those transactions take place. They're short, okay? Or, you know, they were sellers. They wanted to be sellers here, and they got what they wanted. They sold. These buyers took them on. Okay, the green dots trade right into that high liquidity and through it. And then the next level as well. Okay, up here at 75, they traded into those guys here and they got filled. So the transaction took place. Now we understand where the sellers are. Okay, and we can understand that if we get a retest, well, maybe we'll get a retest back down here. Now look at this. We get a flip of the order book in here. This was resistance here because this is where the sellers were. It's basically not resistance so much as it is supply. There was more demand than there was supply. Now the demand has flipped though, the order book has flipped from offer to bid. Okay, so they want to buy now here. Okay, so just that concept of understanding support and resistance is right here, or resistance turns into support. That concept is being visualized right in front of us right now. Okay, you're not going to see that on your candlestick chart. Okay, you're not going to see that in here. We can go to a 1 minute or a 5 minute or whatever. It doesn't matter. You're just going to get open, high, low, and close of a period in here, and that's it. All right. So anyway, oh, let's see here. You guys can see my screen, yeah, in Discord, right? Yeah, and hear me. Yeah. Okay, I'm good. All right. Okay. So let's get back to the discussion here, and get back to Joe's original question here, that he wants to, or his comment here, request to look at time and sales. Let me make sure any other questions in here. What is Abby? What is the swing line you have on Bookmap, the price level indicator? No, I just drew a line in here. That's it. Just very, very quickly. It's up under the drawing tools here, and horizontal line. Okay. All right. Yeah, Joe, thank you. Guys, hit the like button, please, if you like this kind of education. This is what we want to provide for you. It is something different. Just to understand the basic market mechanics in here, it is essential to understand them. Now you can go back and look at candlesticks and volume profile or Fibonacci levels all later. After understanding the market mechanics, it will improve your education tremendously, exponentially. Okay, that's why I suggested to watch parts 1 and 2 of our educational course. Okay, because you really want to understand this. This is really important stuff. It's how the market moves. It's how the market works. Right? It's not a candlestick pattern. It's not a Fibonacci level. Okay, so to really understand, look at the aggressors that came in here. Nice stop run here. This is another thing we can cover and understand what stop runs are in detail, though, not just like, oh, it's a stop run. I mean, we can show you precisely what unfolded here in a stop run. Iceberg orders is another one here that we can show for futures. CME group futures is the blue line down here, and I see some iceberg selling, but I don't see too much buying at the moment. All right, so guys, this turned into a really nice, powerful move. We saw that buy volume come in, and we were just looking for a move up into 70 and 72. It has broken through that, and it's back up to 80, and maybe it can come up a little bit higher to the swing up here of the, you can see the 930 cash open. Okay, so I'm looking for, see if we can get more buyers in here to try to lift it up into this area up here. Okay, so around 83 or so. All right. So Joe, let's get to Joe's request immediately here. So we're going to add in a new column in here, and or change this one to time and sales. Okay, so where is time and sales? Here it is. Okay. All right. So Joe, basically, as you see right now, I don't have any filter on the time and sales. Okay, so it's 1s and 2s, 10s, whatever comes through, it's going to show here. This relates to precisely the aggressor transactions here. All right, that's it. This is, so the volume dots is kind of like looking at your time and sales on the horizontal, okay, as a streaming kind of ticker tape, basically. Okay, and it's done graphically. Okay, graphical representation of it here. You'll see the numbers come through in here. If you haven't filtered the volume, at least. I've got the display here on market delta. So it's not showing the total volume traded. It's showing the delta, buy minus sell, which is going to differ, right, from these transactions over here, because these are pure transactions. So to get over that, which I think the visualization here is very good with the market delta. I like it a lot. I want to show you, though, how to get to the total volume. So go to studies configuration and volume dots, and look at total volume here. Okay, so now you're going to get these pie displays when there's buying and selling combined in here, kind of as an aggregate. But when we zoom in, you won't see that, right? See it right here as a pie display. If I zoom in, then it shows every single transaction, and that will relate precisely to your time in sales here. Okay, so we can look at this in here and really zoom in and see every single transaction in Bookmap, and that will relate to your time in sales. Now, it depends on how you're using your time in sales. You know, what are you reading in here? Trying to understand momentum. Do you want to see it? Do you want to do any kind of filters in here? Maybe you're looking for like 10 or greater to give you kind of understanding of you know, what's transacting in here, or maybe 5 as the minimum size. Okay, so yeah, so you know, I know like for example, J Trader, stocks trader, he's looking at time in sales, or he has over the years. So he's trying to gauge like you know, who's in control moving the market here. Look at the selling starting to come in up here, right? So now let's see if we see kind of a turnaround here in the swing in price action, and not yet. In fact, buyers back up above it here. Okay, there's a lot of selling right there. All right, so let's see if sellers can come in a little bit more. And now let's see if we get red dots down here. Okay, but just based on that little barrage of selling that we saw come in the time in sales, let's see if they can try to hit back down to about 77 here. 77 and a half, 78, sorry. And look at the context in here. So now this you cannot see in time and sales, Joe. This is where the heat map context is so important. So they're bidding here. They want to be buyers here. So now let's see, is there enough selling to take these guys on? Yeah. They trade into and through. Okay. So yeah, here's our move. Okay. So even in confronting this higher liquidity in here, the sellers were able to trade through. Okay, so again, now we're looking for, again, bottom edge here, 78 and a half, and then we're looking for sellers again, and we're looking for the time in sales to pick up on the sell side again. Okay, let's see if they do it here. Looking for it, looking for those time in sales in here. Not seeing it. There's a little bit of selling starting to nibble. Okay, let's see if we can get it. And no, buyers come right back in. It's a kind of a battle in here right now, as you can see, not only in time and sales but also in Bookmap here. Okay, some selling just came in, but this was at a high, right? We want to see buyers back up here if they're going to lift it into 81 and a quarter. All right, so this is where we really need to see time and sales pick up and red dots here. Okay, if we do get that, they should be able to drop it, right? Back down to maybe the 76 and a half. Okay, so Joe, you can see what we're looking at in here. There's a nice drop there, guys. Maybe a little lower, maybe 75. Okay, but see how we're reading time and sales? Okay, and the kind of the momentum in here. Now I've got it again filtered for 5 as a minimum size, and here's our move into 75, guys. Okay, so a nice little 4-point move there. Now we were reading time and sales within the structure here, though, right? Within the structure, these swings in here. Okay, the high up here at 80 and a half, or you know, this little low in here, right? And then we saw more sells up here, which was odd. So it's like, wow, okay, if they can sell up here and they can sell again here, we should get the break, right? So that gave us some insight to this move here, Joe. This is one way to consider integrating your time and sales within Bookmap. Okay, so I hope that helps. Let's see here. Let me know, Joe. Okay, yeah, I can see you're all over it here as well. All right, so yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the chat now. So Christopher, so the historical data, well, you can, I'm going to zoom all the way out here in Bookmap, right? And see this little gray button here in the middle, the rectangle with an arrow. I can add more backfill data, but it's not going to be as high quality data as I'm recording it. Okay. Now you can get 1 hour for free of backfill data. You can pay, I think it's like 14 bucks a month, and you can get up to 24 hours of backfill cloud data here. Okay. Now I'm not going to put that in. It does make Bookmap a lot heavier, but I don't need it. I'm just looking at, the order flow here and now, and I don't need to look at more. This is, from 5 o'clock in the morning here to just after 10 right now. So that's giving me some pretty good insight for the time frame I'm looking at. Now, if you're more of a swing trader, then maybe and you're looking at higher time frame moves, then maybe you want to add in more data here. Okay. But yeah, I don't need it. In fact, usually the process I go through in here is to look at, as you can see, we came in and immediately started looking at order flow in here in Bookmap when the webinar started, and we saw this buying coming in here. I'm going to turn it back to volume delta dots here, buy minus sell. Okay, we saw this strong buying coming in right away here, right? So we knew something was up. Can you guys see that distinction here? In fact, let me take the point of control off here for a moment. And also the VWAP off for the moment. It's the white line, the VWAP. Okay, and we just drew up those little lines in here, and was just looking for a move to those areas, and it powered through them, which is, it happened in here when we were looking for it to maybe drop a little bit. Instead, the buyers came in hand over fist and traded up and through that area. Funny enough, look at how they came back to what was resistance or what was supply turned into demand here, and we traded right to it. Okay, we saw that unfold here when we're going through that time and sales example up here. All right, so anyway, what was I going to do here? I was going to go through and show you it's going to take the heat map off, I believe, and just show you the transactions. I'm sorry, guys, kind of lost my train of thought. It's been a busy morning. Or maybe it was some of the swings in here. Anyway, let me, if you, maybe someone recalls if I was answering someone's question here. Oh, the historical data. Yeah. So yeah, it's up to you, how much you want to look at. For me, this is fine. Typically what I do is I look at my bigger picture candlesticks in here, and I use the same process that I do on the very small time frames that I was showing you earlier, and read it the same exact way. All right, and go through and understand the swings and the order flow in here by reading the candlesticks, and try to do the best we can with that, with volume and the subchart and just price action on the main candle chart here, and that's it. Nothing else, nothing more. But we can get a good reading in here and a good understanding of where price might go, and then look at Bookmap to really refine that move. Okay, and we'll go through this in just a second, but let's continue on, and let me make sure I answered Joe's question. Yeah, Joe, I mean, we saw it unfold right there in real time, that changing character that you're mentioning. Yep. Abby, you updated to Global Plus and you got your TTW. Okay, great. And you've been watching videos religiously. Okay, excellent. Come to these webinars, ask questions. Happy to go through it with you. Come to some of the other webinars as well. You know, like with Tom B, following this one, Algo Boys, Doug, etc. I mean, we're here for you, and ask questions. The backfill data does not come with Global Plus. It's DX feed backfill data. Like they will give 1 hour for free, but that's it. So for more, like I said, up to 24 hours, I think it's $14 a month. It's up to you. You know, the one way around it, if you're just looking at, you know, trading these low time frames, then you just get up in the morning and start your book map. Let's say you get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, you'll have backfill data to 7 a.m. And maybe that's enough for you. If you're even if you're just trading the morning. Okay, if you want the entire overnight, then maybe you want to pay $14 a month, or maybe just you can just mark up your levels without the full. Here, for example, let's take a look at our candlestick chart. Okay, so here I know the swing high from, you know, the open here Sunday evening to right now is up here at 83 and a quarter. And then down here the swing low is 38.62 even. Okay, so and you can just mark those up on Bookmap. You know, 38.62 even. You can see we've already tested that now. Okay, and coming back down again. Anyway, good morning, Alan. Better late than never. No problem. Okay. So I don't know, Joe. I'll be honest. Like time and sales and the DOM or the COB column here, current order book column here. I do look at the current order book column a lot. I don't look at time and sales. I never have. And it was interesting. We got some insight up there from it. But I mean, I have in the past, but I don't really find it that helpful. Here's why. Bookmap is showing that same data with the dots. Okay, like I said, it kind of is unfolding horizontally, scrolling. All right, not vertically here in time and sales. So you know, I think I don't. I have it all here in a composite view in Bookmap. Okay, so I can see price structure, the transactions, and the relationship between that and the liquidity here, all in this composite view. I don't need to have a separate view with a DOM or time and sales. So I don't really find it too useful for me. Now, if you've been using time and sales forever, then you've got it, right? And you can even detach it here and put it on a different into a different area if you like, right? If you close it, it'll pop back in here, and you've got it. Okay, so I usually don't look at it though. I don't find much of a use for it since, like I said, it's here in the composite view in Bookmap. Okay, well, I mean, our time in sales is pretty robust. I'm hoping you don't need something more. It offers some filtering as well. Let us know. But we also have a DOM for Global Plus users, subscribers. Let me show you that product here. It's excellent. Okay, and lots of different features on it as well. Okay, there's actually a couple different DOMs or configurations here. This is a standalone. As you can see, this is here on its own. You can have many domes lined up however you want, but there's you can see some of the last trades within here, or recent bid trades, recent ask trades. You can see the liquidity in here, and you can see some filters in the liquidity as well here in the dome. Okay, that kind of mimic the heat map, high liquidity areas in here. You can see there's columns in here as well, volume columns. There's a lot of stuff in here. There's multiple volume columns. Notes column, here's your entire session volume profile, and this is your volume profile for the buy, and this is buy minus sell. This is the delta. Okay, and then here's the sell volume profile. So there's all sorts of stuff in here, guys. It's very robust. Take a look, check it out. I imagine we'll meet your needs in here for your dome. All right, so for you dome traders, and looking for something very specific in here. Okay? All sorts of resets and clearing, etc. Of the data in here. Okay, we are back to where we saw that move into previously. Okay, so interesting moves today. Very powerful move on the way up, and we're right back here. So let's see, are buyers gonna support it down here, or are we gonna see sellers trade it through here? That's what we want to ascertain right now. And I would say like some sellers look pretty strong here and here, so I think they're going to try to push it down here around this 70 or 69 area here, and let's see if they can hit into 67 or 68 down here. Okay, now in terms of order flow, these are the kind of important points to kind of get across. This is where that strong move came out of, or it broke the swing here, right? When we started the webinar, we saw this in here, and we thought, wow, that was pretty strong. We're looking for a pullback, and then we're looking for extension, and that unfolded nicely, and then it pulled back here and bounced off of that and went higher. Okay, so now we're back here again, and we're looking to see, do we find buyers supporting it here? And we don't really. We see some in here, but they're not really in the order book. They're lower. They're down here at 68. And they're on the offer here at lower levels too. So now, in this structure in here, let's just go and read this structure. Okay, well, buyers are coming in, so probably back up to the top of the range here. And then let's see if we get sellers come in, and let's see if they can trade down here around the 69.25. All right, let's see if they can pick it up here, and then we'll drop into 67.75 here. Okay, so there's a quick move already, but it's already pulled back here. Okay, so no more sellers yet, just that quick move here. Let's see if we get them again here. Okay, so again, you can see what we're looking at in these ranges. Where are the transactions taking place, right? So they can move away. Now this is part 2 of our educational course, is understanding structure and volume within it. Okay, so now do we get more sellers here? Let's see. No, not yet. Okay, there's some exhaustion. Do we get sellers here? No. Well, no, we get buyers up here. Okay, exhaustion here was I was reading. Okay, so they're still buying up here. So now let's see if we can get let's see if buyers can lift it to 71 or 72 here, because they're starting to auction here. Okay. So this is what I mean by exhaustion. See, look at how no transactions took place here. on the offer, right? Now we're getting our sellers here. Now we should get the drop down to set this 67 3/4. Okay, so they're still buying, so it's really kind of back and forth. This is a nice cluster though of selling here, okay, on this small time frame. Okay, in fact, it's a trap. There's going to be a stop run here. There's our stop run right here, yeah, it's a bit of a trap, but let's see. I'm not convinced yet. We still may get some sellers here. This might be a false breakout, is where I'm leading to. Okay, and what that would look like would be, here's our buyers, lack of buying. Let's see if we get sellers here at 71 to trade it right back down to 70, and then back down to 69, and then the break. Okay, so it's a scenario here. Right now, we're not seeing it. That scenario is not playing out. We're getting buyers back up here again, so they should be able to take it higher. They should. Okay, and they did. Short-lived, but it's looking pretty good. Again, it's this context that we continually look at here. So we're looking at these sellers, our buyers, and then we're looking for sellers in here. We didn't get them. We got buyers here, so they should be able to like move it higher. They did. Now this turned into a false breakout, and they're buying back here again. Okay, let's see it. If we get buyers up here again, nope. See the exhaustion? No transactions at all there, none. So if it can't transact there, you're gonna find sellers bring it back into the middle. Okay, now we're getting our break. Okay, it's due to we cover this many times, but on a retest back up here, we had buyers here, which looks great. Buyers come back in here. They can't trade up here though, and it exhausts out. There's just no more buyers. That's when you're going to find sellers move it the other way. Okay, so here's the move the other way now. Okay, and we were looking for it earlier over here. Okay, and it didn't unfold. Now it's unfolding, and look what's unfolding here. Okay, I have to go through this quickly, guys. I'm sorry, but see the buying here. Look at the stop run down here. All right, let me bring up my pen tool. So this is what I want to show, is the this buying in here. This buying in here turned into selling or stop run down here, and here it is, verified, right? So understand this context that we continually talk about in here, that the buyers failed to break it higher, but these buyers in here are that, oh, it's going higher, like I'm going with the trend, and it exhausts out here. We find sellers bring it in back down into the previous level here, and then threw it on the other side and stop everybody out. Okay, that bought over here, and it just repeats again and again. Okay, so now here we go, sellers down here. Now we might get another trap down here. We'll see. Let's take a look. So we're looking to see if we get sellers in here that are trapped, and then sellers would be trapped in here somewhere, and then they would become buyers in a stop run to the upside here. Okay, that's what we'd be looking for. We're going through a lot of stuff in here, guys, but you know, it's and order flow shifts and changes rather quickly. Okay, now on the smaller time frame, yeah, it's changing quickly. On the higher time frame, you know, yeah, we're looking to see if we can get sellers in here again and then bring it down to 65 and 64 here. Here they come. Yeah, all right. I think, the sellers, if they want to hit the bid, they can do it right now, and looking for them to try to drive it down to 65 liquidity here. Okay, on this time frame, zoomed out a little bit more, looking for them to move it down into 65 and 64. Well, we do have, let's see, Armando, we have uh, several columns in here. And if you're looking for TPOs or, time price opportunities, like basically, I mean, it's low volume nodes, high volume nodes. You just look at the volume columns in here that we have. Guys, beautiful move, right? Right into 65. And still looking for a little bit lower here, maybe 64. There we go. There's 64. I would take some off on that move. And I would have my stop at break even. And holding for maybe you can break it here and come back down to the low at 62.5 and maybe even lower here. 50, right? 50 liquidity down here. Pretty far away. Yeah, it's in the volume columns in here, as you can see. CVP stands for chart range volume profile, which means my chart range, what's viewable in this range in here, is going to give me the profile. So if I zoom in here, it's only 3 ticks wide, right? Or a few more now. Session range volume profile is SVP. So you can compare and contrast your volume profiles based on your zoom. Okay, so you can look for, well, if for example, this is a nice move into 64, but this volume profile here for this view, it's not really showing us too much, but the session range volume profile, well, these are your high volume nodes up here. So maybe if we get enough buyers, then they would come back and retest 75 or 80 up here, right? So as a way of comparing and contrasting different time frame volume profiles. Lulu, like the Thinkorswim Bookmap, it should be showing you the action. It should be really good. It should be showing you the same information in here. It's just a different data provider with DX feed, not Rhythmic. Okay, and then there's all sorts of add-ons that you do not get from DX feed or Thinkorswim. Okay, so the stops and icebergs you're not going to get. Absorptions and exhaustion you're not going to get. This new indicator, or this Trader Map Pro that we came out with a week ago, you're not going to get. So that's one of the benefits of the desktop version here. Tradeovate Brandon is using CQG, which you can connect to in Bookmap. So yeah, you can get CQG feed from Tradeovate. Alan, what are you talking about? You're not going to get. Anyway. No. I mean, I don't want to dissuade people from the Thinkorswim version is excellent. It's just there's all sorts of other add-ons that we develop all the time that Thinkorswim is not offering. They're continuing to develop Bookmap over there, but not at the pace that we are. Anyway, you might want to check it out over there. Lulu, another thing is like I would highly suggest this. Like, try the Bookmap desktop version for a month and compare it with your Thinkorswim. Okay, play around with it. That's where you'll get the insight. Yeah, I know that that month will, maybe be a little more costly, but at least you'll get your answers. Yeah, yeah, no. Anyway, I made my point on the Thinkorswim Bookmap version. Yeah, that's a really good way to try out Bookmap and see if it's something you like. And if you like it and you want to take it further, and you want some of the access to these add-ons in here, then consider going with the desktop version. All right, guys. So this turned into a pretty nice move. Just reading the order flow in here, and we got a nice move back down to not only 65 and 64, but it's come down to the low here. And we mentioned that it may continue on into 62 and a half, and it may continue on to 50. Now let's take a step back here and take a look at the bigger picture. First off, the bigger picture, even on this time frame, looks pretty good. I don't think it's going to be so simple as a dump down into 60 and 50. It might, but I think it's going to be some back and forth in here. Let's look at, you can see we're trending down here. We're making lower highs, lower lows, and you're seeing that sell volume ramp up here on the bid, hitting the bid. So I'm looking for the sellers to take it lower, just based off of this here. Now, it's not going to be as easy as that. It's going to be back and forth in here, but on this time frame, that's what we're seeing right now. But let's take a look at the higher time frame as well. Okay, so here's our 15-minute chart. Here's our on the right hand side, hour in the middle, and then the daily here on the left. Now it's pretty interesting price structure here on all three of these, to be honest, in my opinion. So this was that big move, over a week ago. I think it was a Thursday. This huge spike up to this previous swing here on the daily, and then it was FOMC. It was a 100-point move, and then it dropped back down and back down into these lows and through it. These were pretty easy reads, I thought, guys, on some of these days in here. And now we're down here, and we talked about this on Friday. We were looking for a move and a bounce probably around in here, around this 56 area. It did bounce that day, last Friday, and then now we're coming back down again. Okay, so the momentum on the daily is to the downside here. So where might they go? Well, we look at the figures and we look at the price structure in here in the order flow. Okay, so looking left here, this is where that big move came in on the daily, and you could look for maybe a high volume node in here that it might come down to 38 and 11 or something like that. Maybe lower, maybe down into 30, 37.50, maybe even lower. Okay, but yeah, something like that just to begin with. The daily is bearish here. These several last days here. So what about the hourly? Yeah, it's not looking too good either. The move to the downside, the pullback here on Friday, and then the continuation of the move here. Right, here's the 15-minute. Now the 15-minute looks a little different to me. It's trading into these wicks down here. So this is where we found buyers on Friday. We're probably going to find some more buyers down here. We're going to find some profit taking from the sell side too down into here. So we're probably going to get a bounce around in here. Okay, so we're at what the swing low went down to about 57, it looks like, and it's bouncing a little bit right now, just looking not for much, maybe a retest back up to about 62 here, and then the continuation. So and the continuation is not looking good. There's a lot of room to run here to the downside. So yeah, this could be, you know, some pretty strong moves here end of the year, back down into some of these lower levels here. But this is something we need to take a look at, okay, in the order flow. All right, so here we are, and we talked about this already. On this time frame, it looked like it wanted to go lower. It is going lower. We're already through 60. That was our next level. And then now we're looking at 50 down here. Okay, so continuation of the move. And yeah, it looks good. So not much to do here. Just kind of let this move unfold. And but let's zoom in here and let's just read the order flow. Every time you get comfortable, it's time to pay attention to the order flow, because that's where you'll see it start to move the other way. It always seems. Okay, that's more of a kind of talking about Murphy's law than anything technical in here. So let's just be in tune with the order flow. All right, so nice move down into 60. Okay, look at on the offer up here, on the bid here. They got filled here, but we're continued on down, and we're still looking for the continuation to the downside. Okay, so let's look at some of the swings in here and the context between the aggressor and the order book. Okay, so here's our strong sell volume here, and it continued, and it continued. And then we got some buying in here, a little bit of buying in here, and a little bit of buying in here. All right, now, are they going to come up to 58 swing right here? Yep. Now, can they break it? Can we find buyers break it? If so, they will likely come up to here, 59. Okay, they need to break this structure though. Okay, so yeah, I'm looking for it. I'm just a small move here. It's only like a point really. Now it could turn into something bigger. Okay, but do we see the volume supporting that? No. No. Now, one of the things here can be really tricky is, let's suppose that you got in this move here to the downside. Everything's hunky-dory. You know, you captured the move. You've got lots of points here, and you know, how do you want to manage this? And do you want to, you know, take profit along the way? You know, are you going to look for the next opportunity? How not to get shaken out of this as well? Well, one way is look at these structures in here, and are they broken? So the move to 59 is unfolded. Okay, did they break it? No, but they're right back up here and they're ready to break it here. Okay, but did it break it? No. Right, so we're still bearish here. Even though we see these buyers come in here, we are still bearish, okay, on this bigger time frame here, on the higher time frame. All right, makes sense. Now it depends on the time frame you're trading. That makes the big difference here, because if you don't want to get shaken out of this and you want to continue holding for that move to the downside here, where do you place your stop? How much risk do you want to take? Where's your profit target? Okay, so I'm going through the scenario in here that you're still in this trade from I don't know, from like maybe up here 68 or wherever we kind of saw it up in here, 70 to, yeah, 68 or 67 and a half, whatever, wherever it was. Well, we can continue to take a look at this here. So now it just broke this structure here. Okay, but is it going to be a false breakout? Let's see. Okay, does the order book in here, does it look really bullish in here? Not really. Not really. So I would still stay in this. Okay, but we're going to continue just to read this in here. How to stick with that trade. Okay, we can see that we have some structure in here. Let's put in some diagonal structure. Okay, so it's starting to break that trend line. Okay, now, do we have a lot of buy volume above it? A little bit. Yeah, now a lot more. Okay, now let's see here. Did they were able to break the up into 60 here. Okay, if I get a retest back up here and I see a lot of buy volume up at 60, I would get out. I'm still holding it though, and I'm looking for the continuation to the downside here. All right, so that's what I'd be looking for. You can look at some of these areas in here in terms of structure and then acceptance. Okay, so how to hold on to your trade, and just read the behavior in here. Is it just profit taking? Are there new buyers coming in? Is it both? Okay, now here come the sellers. Now let's see if the sellers, we're going to get our answer here. Do we get more sellers down here? And do we get exhaustion up here on the buy side? It's not too clear right now. Okay, we're back up here. And now if you see those big green dots, then yeah, I would exit, but I'm still holding it. Trying to extend my runner here. Okay, quick move to the downside, but they'll probably move it right back here. And it's just back and forth right now. Let me get to some more questions in here. It's awesome that I can't answer your question. Lulu, I don't know what to say. I'm trying to answer your question. Okay, you're giving me a hard time here. If you want the add-on, okay, here, answer your question. If you want the add-ons, go with the Thinkorswim. Go with the Bookmap desktop version. Else, it should work just fine in Thinkorswim. Okay, is that clear enough? Does that answer your question? I'm happy to try to answer it again. I'm not wasting your time. I'm trying to make a distinction between the different versions. And the best way to know that is why don't you try it? Yeah, okay, there, Joe. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Joe can help answer your question. He says it's working great for him. I mean, you can even see some of the videos on YouTube with different traders. And the Thinkorswim is working great. Anyway, I'm just trying to help you. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Is whatever, the distinctions between it is very simple. There's a lot more add-ons here in the desktop version. A lot more. All right. So looks like she or they left, so which is fine. On the very micro level, and have shorts on. Do I want to see red dots hitting trading on the bid? Yeah, basically, I mean, to stick with the trade, Joe, for sure. Thanks, Top Gun. No, yeah, please, guys, I'm here to answer your questions. So whatever it is, I can help with. Um, and we're just trying to be as supportive as we can. So I don't want to turn anyone off here from trading or price action or order flow, right? Our we I I hope we provide very, very high level education for you. I think so. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the support. Um, all right. Well, this is really kind of interesting in here. Yeah, I'm not really sure how. I probably would have exited here, but I'd be looking to get right back in, Joe, on this one here. Just because, like, I've had this happen to me so many times. Like, just this is like in your face here with this buying, and it's a false breakout. And then here's, like, for example, exhaustion and selling coming in again. Now I'm looking for the moves and the move lower here. We you know, it would have shaken me out in here, and it just would upset me. And then I'd be looking to have to, stick with what my plan was, uh, and then reevaluate it. Maybe I should give it a little bit more, or maybe I should give it a little less. And just like once I see it break this smaller structure in here, I'm out. Right? Where do you draw the line? Because now I'm looking for the sellers to come in yet again and to hit the bid pretty hard down into 55 and lower. And finally our 50 level, and look at liquidity at 40. That's been in here uh, overnight, as well as 30. Okay, that's the bigger move here, and we might get it today. The European close is coming up, and typically it's a lot of back and forth during this period, and then the continuation move in the afternoon is what we see. All right, so let's see if we get that here. Uh, anyway, the way I would kind of look at this is, yeah, I would have taken my profit on this, or uh, I would have exited, because I've seen it fly in my face in here where these aggressors coming in, and all of a sudden you're back up to 65, 64, where we took our partial profit to begin with, right down in these areas here. So if it can't, and it didn't make it, right, but I'd be, I would have been stopped, or I would have taken my profit and looked for the next one. Now, what I'm trying to get at here is, like, this is possibly turning into, it's really back and forth in here right now. So I'd be looking for the next opportunity, and this started to look pretty good, but now it's getting upended. All right, so my next opportunity would be looking for, okay, well, I got shaken out then here. Here's our exhaustion. Here's our sellers. Bottom of the range here, take some off, and then look for the continuation again. I would have been stopped out at break even. All right, so because how do you handle it and not get too mixed up with your trading plan in your trading management? Okay, so in fact, maybe you're even looking for something in the reverse here at this point, right? So I think the cleanest or clearest best way for me to understand this is, like, yes, in this case, like, this is where I saw them drop it. I'm looking for them to continue to the downside, the move to continue to the downside. And instead I see buyers up here, and that's where I don't want to see buyers, right? I want to see either exhaustion here, or maybe it's a false breakout, and then this started to look like it here, is that this would be trap buyers, because not a whole lot of sellers here, but they did. Sellers were able to drop it to the bottom of the range, and we got more buyers back up here, but then exhaustion. That's when I'm looking for the sellers here. That's when I'm looking for the bottom of this swing here and the continuation lower. Okay, and that didn't unfold, but I would be looking for that. Everything's looking pretty great here, and for it to continue. This exhaustion looks fantastic at 60 or 60 and a quarter, and look at now the buyers come back up and precisely at that area here where they started to really pick it up again. All right, so anyway, what I would also look at and go back and study for my trading plan is like, could I have held this a little bit longer? Would I be looking at maybe this swing up here? Or would I be looking precisely where these sellers came in and where I'd look for them to have more supply again here? Okay, I think I would here. I could maybe take it a tick higher, but that's about it. Otherwise, like, let's just draw the line there at 60 and a half. Okay, that's as far as I'll go with it. And yeah, I would have been stopped out then. All right. And I'd look for the next one, and it would have been here. I would have taken it, and I would have taken some off here. I would like to say that, and try to look for the move back down to the 56 and a quarter here, and then the continuation. Okay, so anyway, reduce the risk. Okay, and then I missed the move to the upside here, right? Because I was looking for the continuation move. All right, so now do we see anything? Let's take a look at this again here. Do we see anything in here that gave us insight to the move higher? Well, I didn't see it yet in here, not until, well, it would be basically the pullback to 61 here. Yeah, and I don't really like this move here to the upside. Just looking at it here, the buying's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad, but in the order book, yeah, I mean they were supporting here at 61, and they did transact, and there's more buyers back up above it. Okay, so now we're up here. Well, we're through it actually. We're back up to this swing here. So this is turning into, kind of back into the high volume node, 67. Maybe back up into 75 or 80, but like, yeah, I just don't quite see it yet. I don't see the heavy buying yet. Okay. Now, and that's the way I would look at it. And they're continuing to buy, right? But let's just make a distinction here between, see this buying in here and compare it to what we saw over here. See the difference? So this was looking really good. I thought this was powerful buying, and then we were looking for our pullback and then our continuation up into here, and then take the profits. Surprisingly, the buyers really had a lot more, and it was a big stop run here all the way back up to almost the open, but it did not make it past here. Okay, and the sellers came right back in, and then we read this here with Joe's example with the time and sales. Okay, reading this back and forth and the time and sales, and then we saw the selling coming in. We're looking for the bottom edge to break here. Okay, and it broke nicely into 75. Okay, and then we're looking for our continuation over in here. We started to note it, I think, and then we're looking for, it was 70, or maybe it was in here. But we're definitely looking for 65 and 64. Yeah. So yeah, see how that kind of clarity that we're looking for in the buying and selling, right? It just wasn't quite there. So you know, if you don't have that clarity in here, like you know, you can stay out of those trades. Okay, so a little more selling down here. Thanks, Top Gun. Let's see. Thanks, Tan. Excellent. You guys are learning a lot. Any general tips on how to avoid getting chopped up when the S&P becomes very rotational? Yeah, I think we're going through that. I think AC, about like really looking for that distinction in the move. Let's see here. Seva has a question here early on, so sorry about that. That was an hour ago. Most important is to see exhaustion of big money players. Can you show us identify using Bookmap? Yeah, we've been going through exhaustion. I don't know if I answered that, Seva, or if you still have questions there. Sorry about that, Uli. I don't know why I need to jump back and forth between Discord and YouTube, and I just got on a rant basically. So sorry about that. I'll pay more attention to you guys for sure. Usually most of the questions are on YouTube, but anyway. Yeah, really turning into back and forth in here, and we have our European close coming up. But yeah, it just wasn't. I don't know. I mean, the selling looked pretty good in here. This is turning into a big trap right here, and you can see them move away and trying to run the stop. So likely then, yeah. Let's see if we can get the buyers can get back up above, you know, this recent swing here. Because to and see a buy spike with a stop run here, since it's so back and forth at the moment. No sneak peeks on the new thing, Jonah. Uh, yeah, no, I gotta wait. I need to make some material myself for it. But it's pretty cool. All right, interesting move here. That buying cluster back up here failed to move it higher. Okay, here again is our exhaustion, and just I would look for a few things in here. Exhaustion followed by on the other side here. Like this is a good example here. There's not many points that you can get out of this. You can get a few for these moves, but you know the order flow and mechanics is the same. So you'll see this on head and shoulders, or you know, double tops, double bottoms, whatever. Exactly the same thing here. Here's our move higher, buying clusters. Usually or typically liquidity filled on the bid, on the offer on the way up. Big green dots, and then a pullback and some selling, comes back up here, and then exhaustion. Okay, and this is a good example here. There's a little bit of selling in here, so it still kind of holds true, but this is a good example of the exhaustion. There's no buying here. They can't even make it up to the high here, and then look at the selling come in here. This looks good, right? I would be looking for a pullback to where these guys initiated. The first one would be here to 60 and a half, right here, okay, where we have our line, and the next one maybe here or right at this volume cluster here. Right now, the sellers were able to take it all the way back down to the swing low here, right down to this, or just shy of it here, and then we see the back and forth in here. All right, so anyway, that's what unfolded here. But this is the key here, is the exhaustion up here, and failed to make the even an equal high. All right, and we start to see some selling here, and then the selling comes in again here, some heavy selling. That's when we're looking for it to break, okay, potentially break. Who knows? You know, we never know. All of a sudden, buyers might come in back up above it here on a micro time frame, or very small time frame, and maybe you see a buying cluster here at 62. See the little green dot here? Maybe it's really big. Then we look for maybe a move back to 63, and can they buy again at 63 and a little bit higher? Then we'll get a nice flag pattern, right? This is where that exhaustion came in, though. This is where that selling came in. Typically we look for the continuation. All right, so now here are the buyers above this swing here, right? Look at our 60 and a half, and they broke out on buying, pull back. Okay, now we're looking for exhaustion on the sell side here, and buying right here at 61 and a quarter or 61 and a half. Not yet. Not yet. See, exhausted out. Exhausted out. All right, let's see if we can get our sellers here. And can they break it? Can they break this now? Can they come back down to here? It's 58. This is right at 11:30, guys, our European close. So just be careful with that. There's always volatility around that time. All right, let's see it. Let's see it, sellers. Right here, 60. There's exhaustion. Looking for sellers. And we didn't get them. There, now we got some. Okay, there's exhaustion. Now, do we get sellers again? Yeah. All right, sellers, let's see you drop it now. At least down to like 58 and a half. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now it's a small move, but yeah, I would take partial profit right there off of that. Okay. Because it's a small move and it's really back and forth in here. That's my reasoning on it. And you can see the reasoning was pretty decent here. I mean, they came right back. Buyers came right back here to retest that area. Okay, so that's showing the back and forth nature of the markets at the moment. Okay, but yeah, anyway, that's kind of a way to integrate exhaustion, and that was real time. And I know it's a small move, but the point is that you'll see this on the higher time frames. Okay, we just don't have time to do that and go through that detail on the higher time frames, okay, unless we get lucky and see it at a certain point. Now let's zoom back out and take a look here. I still like this on the move to the downside. You know, this was just some back and forth in here, looking for those sellers. Yeah, I'm looking for them right now, actually. And this could be a real nice move from 57 on down to 50, and I'm looking for it to unfold now. Okay, and then let's take a look here now. Not only back down to 50 on the higher time frame. Now again, it's not a trade recommendation room here. It's reading the order flow and then looking for these moves to unfold in these scenarios here, and then managing your trade in a way that you take some off and you can manage your risk and look for several opportunities in here. That's one of the advantages as a smaller trader. What we can do that. Larger players don't have that flexibility, right? We can take some off, look for the next setup, etc. Larger players need to kind of sink into their trades and continue to add into them. So Uli, we're going over this like a swing trade example right now. This is we even talked about it a little bit earlier. You know, of the move kind of down into this kind of 64, 65, and then the continuation, and the nothing ever changed on that swing trade example. This was just back and forth in here, and we're looking for that continuation, right? So our swing trade example is still unfolding. Okay, we were looking for the move back down into these wicks here, and then potentially through it, and then we talked about this on the daily. Okay, back down into, you know, I don't know, high volume node down here or someplace in here somewhere. I think we talked about 38.11 and then also 37.50, something like that, right? There's a lot of room to run here on the downside. So looking for buyers to basically looking for buyers on the higher time frame in the order flow, the buyers to step aside here. It's the same concepts. So for the sellers to drive it down into buyers where they want to buy down in these areas, maybe down here, and they're not gonna buy here. And that's kind of the scenario we're going through on these higher time frames or swing trades. Does that make sense, Uli? And let me see any other questions in here. Oh, we are partnered with TradeStation, Brandon. Yeah, one of our partners. But I would, yeah, it would be great to connect with their data. We do connect to them. If you have a TradeStation account and you want to trade your futures or stocks or both, you can do that through Bookmap. We connect to their trading platform. You can route your trades to your TradeStation account. Okay, but you can't get TradeStation data, right? You'll need to still subscribe to either DX feed or Rhythmic data here in Bookmap. Guys, if you like this, please hit the like button. Helps us out a lot. Subscribe to the channel and hit that subscription button, and we'll continue to go through this kind of stuff again and again. As you can see, this is turning into a nice move now to the downside into 50, and like kind of answering Uli's question again on these swing trades, guys. I mean, keep an eye on your order flow. If you see something just massively distinctive in here, you might want to, you know, manage your trade. You know, like just huge buy volume that's coming in, or you know, something in here, just massive walls of liquidity that sellers can't get through. Otherwise, though, you know, like we just looked at in the higher time frames here, there's no reason here to look for something different right now. There's a pretty good argument, you know, for the move lower here. And looking for those buyers to kind of step aside here. Now, it's not going to be as easy as that. It never is. Rarely is it. Okay, so you need some conviction in your trading and your plan, and then manage your risk along the way. Okay, so this move down to 50 is almost unfolded, and that was the you know, higher time frame move we were looking for. All right. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to leave you in the hands of Tom B. He's up next. He's actually already streaming. So, yeah, you can jump over to the next stream. Thank you, Jay. Yeah, no, I really enjoy providing you guys education. So, and yeah, you know, I think we have something kind of unique here, and want to continue to offer something that is high quality and unique. And like I said, we just have a whole host of other traders using Bookmap, options with Doug after Tom B, and then the Algo Boys later after that. All right, so thanks for coming, everybody. We will continue tomorrow, and yep, we'll also have some interesting content later in the week and cover the new feature that we have here in Bookmap. All right, so we'll see you then. Okay, all right, take care, everybody. Thanks.